As most character artists, I've made my fair share of original characters, OCs for short, and for the most part, I've never really had stories for them. I just thought, hey, they look pretty cool, and would draw them anytime I was bored. But for some reason, these three changed something in me. I wanted to give them personalities, desires, goals, the whole package. These are actually my first male OCs, which is ironic since that's all I really draw. But I used to draw girls all the time. However, these guys have been through the most development. I'm talking constant makeovers throughout the 6 or so years I've had them. If you've known me for a while, or even just recently, you'll know I'm talking about my boys, Eric, Luca, and Alistair. Yes, the title is a bit of clickbait, but I swear these guys are actually interesting. I've been working a lot on them these past few months, and I would love to share their story, at least what I have so far, with people, and I want others to love these guys as much as I do. Genuinely, they're so important to me and who I've become today. But a bit off topic for a second, I want to apologize for no video in February. I so badly wanted to start this video sooner, but I had been struggling to come up with logo ideas, character arcs, and character designs up until now. I would hate to give you guys some half-assed version of these guys because I feel that wouldn't be fair to you and to the OTR cast. I've been so busy with a lot of IRL things too, so that's been in my way. To make it up to you guys, this month I will be giving you 2 videos. One at the beginning of the month, which is this one, and one at the end of this month. I haven't quite figured out my next video just yet, but I will be on time. #trust. Anyway, I won't delay off the record any longer. Let's get started. I created these characters in late 2019, early 2020. Eric was actually the first one I created, and it was just some random character I made up. I was trying to finish a sketchbook, so every day for about 5 days, I would have a set number of random colors, and boom, that's how Eric came to be. The same happened for Luca, but his name was originally Alec. Honestly, I have no idea where I got that name from, but I'm so glad I changed it. Imagine Eric and Alec, that's too similar. Anyway, around August of 2021 is when I gave them a whole redesign and also added a new character, the antagonist of the story, Alistair. The story for OTR has changed quite a bit since I first created them, but the constant has always been Eric and Luca are endgame, and Alistair's always getting in the way of that. I finally have a set story for them, though, and I don't think it'll be changing anytime soon. Okay, the basic gist of Off the Record is Eric is a famous music artist in the early 2000s. I know, super unique. It's not like everybody ever is doing that, but Luca works part-time as a model for a fashion company whose owner is Alistair's dad, Khalid. Eric and Alistair are actually childhood friends that did date at one point, but with how strict Khalid is, they had to keep their relationship a secret. On top of that, Eric watched as Alistair became a completely different person once his mother left. He became hateful, easily irritable, and reckless. He would often take out his frustration on Eric, which would hurt him in the long run. As for Luca when he was younger, he had always felt he didn't quite fit the body he was given. He never truly felt like his mother's daughter, no matter how hard he tried. In his teen years, he started experimenting with his appearance, presenting himself more masculine, and honestly, he never felt more like himself. His mother, however, felt like he betrayed her. She didn't have a son. In a moment of drunken rage, she throws him out, saying to never show his face to her again. With it pouring rain and his best friend living too far away, his only other option is Eric's house. Now, he was only acquainted with him since they have a few classes together, but they weren't really close, so he absolutely felt awkward showing up to his house soaking wet. At first, Eric was hesitant to let him in since, again, they barely knew each other, but he couldn't just leave him out there. Luca washes up and apologizes profusely for the inconvenience. Eric tries to charm Luca, saying he's glad he was his first option, but Luca immediately gets him back, saying he should be the one thanking him with a soft expression. This is the exact moment Eric fell for him. The whole night he was flustered at just the idea of sharing a bed with him. However, this would be the only time they ever really talked like this. Luca would start living with his best friend. I still don't have a name or design yet. I'm so sorry, girl. And they wouldn't really talk much at school. Eric is the number one yearner though, and never forgot that night or how he felt. Throughout high school, Eric was actually part of a boy band. Also, don't have designs for them yet. But decided to go solo after he graduated. This is also a perfect time to mention the voice claims I have for the big three, i.e. Eric, Luca, and Alistair. I'll play this little video I have and then explain why I chose those voices.
I've got skills. I'm doing my best. This sucks. Like I give a shit. What test?
Driving.
I'm great at driving.
You're not going to find me, because I'll be in my highly camouflaged, heavily fortified, Bergen-proof survival bunker. You don't know that. It could still be out there. Watching. Waiting. Listening. They're your friends. I'm staying right here in my bunker where it's safe. And I figured there was no way you could do this by yourself.
For I sing songs until the break of dawn. I embrace a new man every night. My life's one never-ending carnival. A world of boozy, floozy, flashing light.
Okay, so for Luca, I wanted someone who sounded kind of timid and monotone, but still had a bit of sass to him, since he definitely is like that. Luca may look and most times act super shy, but he can actually be quite the opposite at times. Whenever he's modeling, he shows zero interest and honestly gives his manager a hard time. I'll talk more about that later. For Alistair, I felt this voice and song specifically was so him-core. It has a slight feminine feel, which Alistair exudes that immensely, as well as what the song is about. He very much puts on an act of self-righteousness and rich guy behavior, but in actuality, he's a very anxious guy who's just following orders. He's very obedient to his father because Khalid has the power to make everyone hate him. Now, for the elephant in the room, Eric's voice claim is literally Justin Timberlake. It used to be Matthew Mercer, but I felt that voice was too deep, and at the time, Eric wasn't a singer. It only clicked for me to have him sing after I watched Trolls band together. Honestly, such an awesome Sauce movie. The music is so peak. But yeah, his music is such a good inspiration for story arcs and his personality. I actually made playlists on Spotify that are supposed to be albums he's made that are a bunch of Justin Timberlake songs. This does mean that Eric's boy band uses songs from NSYNC. On the subject of that, the song Tearing Up My Heart has a lower reason. So this is around the time Eric feels an ache in his heart when he's with Alistair. He doesn't feel loved like he should. So the line, "And no matter what I do, I feel a pain with or without you," is exactly what he feels being with Alistair. He loves him dearly, but how can he love someone who couldn't care less about him? Someone who thinks only for themselves. Fast forward to where the story actually takes place. Eric is pretty famous, being easily recognized when in public, which he loves. He's always been popular at school, even before singing, so he's pretty used to all the attention. Alistair works for his dad's fashion company since his dad wants to control everything his son does. Khalid doesn't trust him to do anything useful, so modeling is the best thing he can do for the company. Alistair doesn't mind though, since he feels he deserves all the attention. And maybe it'll bring Eric's eyes on him. Lastly, Luca works in the flower shop his best friend's family owns. He wants to do whatever he can to help since they let him live there for so long. He doesn't make much there and still lives with his BFF, but he's at least living a peaceful life, something he's been needing. However, that all changes one day when a very lively woman enters the store. She immediately demands to see who's in charge, explaining she needs flowers for a photo shoot like yesterday. Before Luca's friend could even speak with her, the lady quickly moved her gaze to Luca and in an instant was eyeing him up and down. Rightfully confused, he kindly asks what she's doing. She quickly takes his hand and introduces herself. This bright young lady is named Amber. of course works for Khalid's fashion company. I should really figure out a name. She's normally out running errands like this so that the photographers are happy with their shoots, but this is the first time she's ever scouted someone before. She was immediately captivated by Luca's, quote, uniquely feminine face and told him he's got a new job. This is how Luca ends up in the modeling slash celebrity world, as he became a pretty popular face for the teen girls to giggle and kick their feet about. He's often paired with Alistair, not realizing they went to high school together and honestly has no gripe with. They only act as acquaintances with minor conversations here and there. But of course, that all changes once Eric comes into the picture. For his debut album, Going Solo, he comes in for a photo shoot just after Luca and Alistair finish up. Like a deer caught in headlights, Eric stands still staring at Luca in awe. He couldn't believe his eyes. The guy he's been daydreaming about for years, standing only a few feet away? With enough courage, as if he isn't famous, he walks over to Luca saying, "Is that who I think it is?" Luca looks up, confused, squinting to see if that would help him remember. Nope, couldn't put a finger on it. Eric chuckles and explains that they went to high school together. "Oh yeah, I remember. You were the super popular kid with that boy band, right?" "Never quite understood the hype," Luca says with a shrug. That stings Eric, but he giggles anyway. Although both of them had a tight schedule, they had a good time catching up. Eric quickly realized he was the only one who remembered that night, which means he's the only one who feels this way between the two of them. He kept telling himself that was fine, but deep down, the ache in his heart only grew. Although that wasn't entirely the case. After their little chat, Lucas started to feel weird. His heart was racing, his hands were sweating, and he could feel his face blushing. Could he be sick? Oh, Luca, you don't even know what's ahead of you. So that's just about all I have for them in the beginning. I know. I left on a cliffhanger, but I'm still working out specific events and such to get them closer and figure out how Alistair can play into all of this. There's a pretty important part of Eric and Alistair's relationship that happens later in the story that is completely unforgivable. And it's important to me that the characters and the readers have a hard time forgiving him, especially with forgiving him quickly. I hate when I read a BL and one of the characters in the couple ends up SAing the other and are easily forgiven. That's not something I want to normalize. That's not something that should be normalized. In this story, I also want to talk about the struggles trans people go through and the struggles gay people go through, especially in the 2000s. I don't want to pretend this is a perfect world where none of these things are concerned, because I want people to see just how real this is. I want people to find comfort knowing that even though my characters go through this, they can still find love. They can still find happiness. They can still be themselves. This is editing Moxie at literally 2:15 in the morning, but another thing I want to talk about in Off the Record, or at least portray, is how both of the guys can act very, I guess, feminine at some points. Like, I don't want one to be super masculine and like the bigger guy, and then the other one that looks like a little twink, where they're like super feminine to a point where I'm like, why didn't you just make this, a hetero relationship? Not that there are guys that can't be super feminine, but I can see where the author's going with that. I can tell what they're trying to do. But there are times where Luca acts very feminine, and not just because he is trans, you know what I mean? There are times where he can act very feminine. There are times where he's okay with wearing feminine clothing, you know what I mean? And then there are also times where Eric acts very feminine, especially around Luca. They bring out the most vulnerable parts of themselves when they're around each other, you know what I mean? And even Alistair, he acts very feminine, but he's more open to that than the other two. The other two do it more when they're flustered, you know what I mean? But I hate reading BLs, and I can tell that they really wanted one of them to be a girl, or they show them very masculine in the beginning, and then later on in the story, baby their face and stuff and make them so much smaller than the other. I'm totally not calling out Jinx on this one, or literally any other BL and manhwa, but yeah, that's my little note too. I was thinking about this while editing my audio, so back to normal Moxie. Okay, enough serious talk. Let's talk about where I'm going to be taking off the record now. I obviously still have more concept art to work on since I only really have Eric and Luca set. Alistair is still iffy. I need to make designs for Khalid, Luca's mother, Eric's parents, Eric's boy band, and Luca's best friend. I got a lot of homework with that, but I also have some world building to do as well as work on more minor plot points. This is the first time I've ever given this much thought in my own story. I've always just enjoyed drawing my characters doing whatever, but I actually have so much love for OTR, and honestly, this wouldn't have happened if not for my amazing friends Old Fashioned Fella and Rumor Two People Knew. They're some of my biggest supporters, and they often give me a lot of ideas that I incorporate into the story. Especially Old Fashioned Fella. I'm telling you, the amount of lore that I've come up with in the past 6 to 8 months is crazy work. I've never done this much character design and story points and world building as I have in these past 6 to 8 months. I need you guys, please check them out. I'll put their socials in the description because, first of all, they help me with my story. Second of all, they have literally jaw-dropping art. Every time both of them post, I have to stare at my screen for a good 5 to 10 minutes because, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. I could totally see Off the Record becoming a webtoon or comic in some way, but for now I'll just be sharing it in mini comics and illustrations. This is the most fun I've ever had creating a story, and I don't think I'll be stopping anytime soon. I just hope that you guys will stick with me in this journey, but for now, that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble about my OCs. They're some of the most important characters to me, so sharing these guys is very personal. As for my next video, I honestly think I'm finally going to talk about Genshin Impact, specifically with Diluc. Don't even get me started. He's my number one ever since meeting him in Mondstadt. Oh my goodness. It's both his red hair and his voice that really draw me in, but I want to talk more about him as a character and his relationships within the story. People often boil him down to the guy that hates his brother and the Knights of Favonius, but he's so much more than that. It's honestly another case of Shadow the Hedgehog where I have to explain to people that he's not just surface level edginess. He has depth to him. He has more than that. You just have to actually look for it, you know what I mean? People need to realize that some characters aren't just in your face telling you exactly who they are. Some characters you have to dig for how different they actually are and how much depth they have in their character, because I'm telling you guys, Diluc is not just some edgy guy that acts like Batman all the time. He has stuff to him, please. Anyway, again, I really appreciate each and every one of you for watching my video, and I hope to see you again. Thank you.